You know, usually when you look at audio gear, you really have to pick a lane. You either buy that delicate, high-fidelity stuff for your living room, the gear that sounds amazing but you wouldn't want to sneeze on, or you buy an industrial tank for a conference hall.
Right. The one that lasts forever but sounds like a tin can. It's that classic trade-off of durability versus clarity.
Yeah.
Usually those two worlds just don't meet.
Yeah, exactly. But the specs we are looking at today claim you can actually have both. We're doing a deep dive into the Kramer Galil 60B. These are 6.5-inch two-way on-wall speakers.
It is a pretty bold claim.
Wow.
And we're analyzing this based on technical specs and product listings from HDTV Supply, which is actually really important context.
Yeah, HDTV Supply isn't just some random big box store. They are a 25-year veteran in the global AV market. We're talking about a vendor holding contracts with the GSA and NASA, plus a massive inventory of things like matrix switchers.
Which really sets the stage here, because if a vendor supplying NASA is stocking this, the mission of our deep dive is figuring out how a simple ABS plastic cabinet bridges the gap between a cozy audiophile setup and a massive public address system.
And that is my main hang-up. Because on-wall usually implies a PA system, right? You think of those garbled, awful announcements in an airport terminal. But looking at the driver materials listed here, that assumption just doesn't track.
No, it really doesn't. You see that right in the build. You've got a 6.5-inch polypropylene cone woofer, which is fairly standard for handling mids and lows, but the real tell is the tweeter. It's a 1-inch silk dome.
Why does the silk matter so much for the listener?
Well, think about cheap speakers in a fast food joint or a warehouse. They usually use hard materials like metal or cheap plastic for tweeters because they project sound far and they are inexpensive, but they're harsh. They cause listener fatigue.
Your ears just literally get tired of hearing it.
Right. Silk is soft. It dampens resonances, giving you a smooth, detailed high end. That's what you want for music or clear vocals. This covers a frequency response from 65 Hz to 20 kHz, basically the sweet spot for musicality.
So it's built to sound pleasant, like a home speaker. But then looking at the power 40 watts RMS, 110 continuous of ends, it has actual muscle. But what confuses me is the back panel. There's a switch that seems to change the speaker's entire personality.
Ah, yes. This is the chameleon feature we need to talk about. It's a multi-tap power transformer, and it is the exact hardware component separating residential gear from commercial arrays.
Break that down for us. It has an 8-ohm setting and then these 70-volt and 100-volt settings. What's the practical difference when you're actually installing this?
Okay, so in your living room, you generally use 8 ohms. That relies on high current and short cable runs. If you tried running standard speaker wire 100 feet in an 8 ohms setup, the wire's resistance would eat all your power.
The sound at the end would just be quiet and muddy.
Physically impossible to sound good. That is where the 70-volt setting comes in. It steps up the voltage to push the signal over huge distances using thin cables. Then, the transformer on the back of the Galil steps it back down at the speaker.
So that allows you to daisy chain 20 or 30 of these things together without losing quality.
Exactly. And that is what those taps listed in the specs do. They are the control. You can set one speaker to draw 30 watts because it's in a noisy lobby, and the next one on the exact same wire to draw only 3.7 watts for a quiet bathroom or corridor.
That is a massive amount of flexibility for one box. It's effectively a transformer that lets it speak 2 different electrical languages.
And physically, it's designed to disappear while doing it. It's roughly 8.5 by 12 inches, basically the size of a sheet of paper, just deeper, and it comes in black or white with brackets to mount directly to the wall.
Which brings us back to that vendor context. You mentioned HDTV Supply's government contracts. Does that explain why this thing is rated for such extreme temperatures?
Almost certainly. The specs show it operating from freezing all the way up to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. In a commercial install, say, a warehouse dock or a drafty entryway gear that fails during a cold snap is totally useless. Their Wolfpack branding and those SCWP contracts imply this is install and forget hardware.
It's fascinating. We started by asking if it was a home speaker or a commercial speaker. And the answer is, it uses commercial voltage tech to deliver home quality sound.
It completely blurs the line. It suggests the days of accepting teeny, awful sound in public spaces just because it's commercial are over. You get the utility of a 70-volt array, but the warmth of a silk dome tweeter.
It really does make you wonder, if the hardware can easily do both, are our expectations going to shift? Are we moving toward a world where you expect studio quality sound absolutely everywhere you go? From the dentist chair to the DMV.
I think it's definitely something to listen for next time you are out in the world.
Something for you to chew on. That's our look at the Kramer Galil 60B. Thanks for joining this deep dive.